for them anymore because there are so many blended families, divorced families, that I don't think the children feel so out of it when mom and dad, and sometimes they feel a lot better that mom and dad aren't screaming and yelling at each other anymore, and the situation is resolving itself.
You know, in the 70s we hit I think we were hitting new highs on divorce rates, because you had people who came back from World War II, they got married, found out they had nothing in common, had kids, and by the time they saw how their hippie kids had turned out, they were on their way to divorce, and so a lot of kids have come from a divorced family.
True.
You know, I come from a divorced family, and
I'm a blended family. I don't mind. I have stepchildren, so.
And I thank God every day for my extended nucleus family now that I have it, and we were lucky enough to have it, all come off without a hitch. So
a lot of people can't do that, at least not at the beginning. It's difficult.
And okay, one real quick question. We have. You have no office right now? Are they in the process of building it? Are you going to have an office in the court and stuff? You have a building?
There is a juvenile probate court right now, and I believe there are facilities that they can use up there for both the judges, but it's going to be crowded and going to be difficult, because from what I understand is they don't quite know what they're doing with the new building yet.
Okay. All right. Cathy, thank you very much for being on the program.
Thank you.
And we're going to hear from our sponsor, and then we'll come right back with Kevin Talebi.
The Urbana Leader is sponsored in part by the Depot Coffee House, a gathering place for locals, a resting place for bicyclists, and a haven for history and railroad buffs. Located 6 blocks west of Monument Square on Miami Street in Urbana, the coffee house can be found in a refurbished 1890s train station on the Simon Kenton Bike Trail. Free Wi-Fi, fresh baked goods, local artwork, and good conversation can be found every day of the week at The Depot from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m.
Welcome back, and we're here with Mr. Talebi. It's Kevin, right?
It's Kevin. Thank you for having me.
Kevin Talebi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Appreciate it. We've been trying to get you on the show for a while now, so I'm happy to have you. First, I wanted to ask you a couple of things about yourself. You're running for what particular office?
I'm running for family court judge.
Family court judge.
Here in Champaign County.
And that entails, because we've heard a long list of, it's a yada yada, it's got a very long name.
Tremendous amount of different types of cases will be dealt with by the family court, including juvenile, probate, divorce, dissolution, child custody cases, child support cases, civil protection orders will be dealt with by this court. All of those issues will be dealt with by the 2 family court judges.
Okay.
I am running for one of those 2 positions.
And this is the same system we have out in Logan County and in some other counties?
The family court system is the same system that they've put into place in Logan County. That's correct, yes.
All right, tell us a little about yourself. Are you from Urbana? Do you live in Urbana?
I live it's an Urbana address. I live out in the county.
You live out in the county?
Yes, I do.
All right, that's all right. We won't hold it against you.
From Columbus originally, and my wife, Susie, and I live here in Urbana. We have 3 little girls who we're raising and who we intend to bring up in this community.
All right, and how old are you?
My oldest is 5, my middle child's 3, and my youngest is 1.
Oh, well, you guys have your hands full.
We certainly do, that's for sure.
That's good, that's good. Okay, now, what made you decide to run for office?
It's been a question I've been asked quite frequently. I think the simplest way for me to put it is that I care about my community and I care about my profession. Running for family court judge, if I'm successful, it's an opportunity for me to both serve my community and to serve my profession. It's an opportunity I very much look forward to.
Right. Now, what in your background makes you the right candidate for the job?
I have a very blended background in terms of experience through my legal practice. I first moved to Champaign County. I got my start as an assistant county prosecutor. Spent a tremendous amount of time in the juvenile court system. representing the Department of Job and Family Services, Children's Protective Services, dealing with cases of juvenile delinquency. Also, upon leaving the prosecutor's office, got very involved in establishing my own private practice in the field of family law, domestic
So
relations.
you actually practice family law now?
That is correct, yes. And family law is divorce, dissolution, child custody. I am from time to time appointed as a guardian ad litem. That's an individual who's appointed by the court to evaluate cases and make recommendations with regards to how the court should rule with regards to children that are being affected by certain proceedings, such as custody battles, or even cases of abuse, neglect, or dependency.
Well, and I've said it before in other interviews, that's probably the hardest part about family law is everything that happens in families, and we all know what happens in families. We all have our
It really, in private practice, I would tell you that I think one of the hardest things about family law is that you see people on both sides who are generally really good people go at their worst. They're going through a very difficult time in their lives, perhaps one of the most difficult times that they'll ever experience in their lives. And what sometimes is lost in the process is that where there are children involved, they are also very much so being affected by the court proceedings that are going on. And the children really need to be thought of with regards to the process as the case progresses.
Right. And from what my understanding of how we're going to run the new court, it's going to be cradle to grave. You'll handle everything from everything that happens to an individual and their family, right up until and including their probate as far as their wills go and those kind of things, right?
One of the exciting things about the family court is that there's the opportunity for some continuity there for the same judge potentially to be dealing with that family for an extended period of time. For example, you may have a child that you're dealing with in an abuse, neglect, or dependency case through Children's Services, and then later on that family comes back to court because there's a divorce or a custody dispute. You may again be dealing with that same family. It gives that judge the opportunity to have a little more knowledge about the facts and circumstances surrounding this family and their prior history with regards to their involvement in court.
There's an old Cagney movie, Boys Town. Is that a Cagney movie?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm thinking it is, or it's a Bing Crosby, Boys Town, where he's a priest, and but they all know the judge's name. They know his first name. They know every member of his family. All the kids in town know the judge's name, and some of that has been lost in the judicial system now. Kids don't know or have any respect for those kind of things because they just don't know those people. And I think one of those things, and that's one of the reasons why it's been lost, is because they don't get to see someone who has tried to help their family from beginning to end.
Well, it would certainly, it could certainly certainly creates the possibility that a judge is going to be dealing with a family on more than one occasion. You hope that all those experiences aren't negative.
Right.
But they
Well,
certainly...
what if they are? What if they are? What if you get a juvenile who is, their family's gone through divorce and, custody, property was a messy thing and tried to get through it as quickly as possible. Kid, lashes out, is having problems and continues to have problems. Is that juvenile rehabilitatable, the LOA? Is that a real word?
It can be for our purposes.
For our purposes.
Yeah, sure.
Well, if you could use the fancy words you use, I can make up a few of my own. All right. But you know what I mean.
I do. I think one of the advantages that we have about living in a county the size of Champaign County, a smaller community, where people do tend